Hey there. Hi there. Ho there. Not ho there, though. You know.
Hodor.
Hodor? No, fuck that guy.
Yo, do you watch Game of Thrones?
Damn fucking right I don't.
You missed the spectacle this weekend.
Yeah? I'm glad. I drove a lot of people to and from that shit. You should have seen the Uber boost in the city. It was fucking wild.
People were trying to get home to watch it and try to get after the bars afterwards.
Yep.
So what's going on, guys? My name's Cliff, and this is Higher Education's podcast.
Yeah, I'm Eddy.
I was going to say my co-host today is Eddy, but he beat me to it.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Hey there.
Here you go. So, I didn't want to start talking about Game of Thrones, and I really didn't watch it.
Yep.
But they released an episode that people were hella pissed about.
Was this the start? Was this the first one or episode of the season or the second one of the season?
We're on episode 3, actually.
Wow, really? It's been 3 weeks since that bullshit? Fuck.
And it's like, let me just start by saying, I saw Endgame, and then right after Endgame, I watched the Battle of Winterfell. My heart almost stopped. That's how much excitement was in the air. So, but I won't talk about the episode or Endgame, because spoilers. I want to talk about the fact that they put up a battle at night, and it was just dark. It was just way too dark to see almost anything. I had to turn the brightness up on my TV. And it's like, how the fuck? Yeah. So, the first topic of our podcast is not Game of Thrones related, but it has some themes from Game of Thrones, like sex. So,
yeah.
I want to talk about...
Are there any marine animals in
Game of Thrones? You know, in the lore, there are a lot more creatures than in the show.
Oh, okay.
I give it just because of the CGI budget.
Yeah.
Like, there were some beautiful shots, actually. Like, the dragons fighting dragons in the last scene was so beautiful. It's just a shame.
Well, they were like, make us a dragon, and the dude made like 7 dragons, but they needed to pay for more stuff. They're just like, we're going to use them.
Dude, like, when I say, like, someone on Reddit slowed down the scene and they made it brighter, it was such a beautiful scene. Like, literally dragons dancing in the air, and there's one scene where the dragon bites off dude's cape, and then the other dragon bites that dragon in the jaw, and then it shoots a fireball at his mouth because it's bitten. And it would have been great to fucking see that on my TV. You spent all this money so I can't see it. It was beautiful.
That's why I don't watch now. I'm kidding.
But, so, our first topic is Peter the Horny Dolphin.
Oh, yes, Peter. Peter with the heartbreak.
So I stumbled across this thread talking about real things that sound like conspiracies. So apparently the government was messing around with acid in people. You know how they do with acid in people.
Yeah, you know.
So
can't spell LSD without government. Oh, wait. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, G-O-V. Yeah.
Government acid.
So like any practical science study does, they want to see if we can teach dolphins how to speak English. Right? That's... Why?
Well, they're like the second smartest, aren't they?
But why are we trying to teach
our fucking, humble asses up on the top?
Why don't we just learn their language and try and decipher that before we teach them a whole language that other humans can barely grasp?
You know humans. They don't want to go around squeaking.
So yeah, they got this lady, and they're like, yo.
Just like high-pitched saying yeet.
Yeet. So they got this lady, and they gave her LSD, and they put her in this little pool with a dolphin, and they're like, teach this dolphin how to fucking read. So she's in the pool with the dolphin, and is not working, but she's building a bond with the dolphin.
A bomb?
But there's a problem.
She's building a bomb?
She's building a bond.
A bond.
James Bond. She's building a bond with the dolphin, and so, but there's a problem that around a certain time the dolphin gets horny, and he starts rubbing up against her with his body and dick. And so...
You know how dolphins do. Especially when they're on that, good shit. You know?
That's
some government shit, dude. No, that's
so
pure.
We're not even there yet. So basically, they're like, we got to alleviate this problem. So they send the dolphin to another room to go alleviate himself with the 2 female dolphins. So the study goes on. Dolphin's not learning English, so they start giving the dolphin LSD. So he's not learning English, and he's becoming more aggressively horny. So the woman with the dolphin decides it'd be smarter if she just relieves the dolphin instead, because the time it takes for the dolphin to go to the female dolphins and come back is too much.
Going all in for the job. Now,
so
now here's the question. Did she say this on acid?
No.
No, she said this.
I mean, she might have been on acid. She gave an interview that I read. She might have been on acid.
Because
the way she talks about it, and then she goes on to say that it just became, it wasn't a sexual thing for me.
That's fair.
It was
She
just
doing
sensual.
her job.
And I was like, nigga, no. No, you jerking off a dolphin.
Well, no.
That's
yes,
sexual.
but think about it in the context of learning. To learn how something works, you've got to get fucking down and dirty.
Oh god, this is a sexual act. You can't be sucking somebody's dick and be like, "Oh, this is for study."
Well, did she?
This is not recreational.
What did she do? I'm thinking hand stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
she
hand
jerked
stuff.
off the dick.
Or
not the dick, the dolphin.
She didn't even go to she
dick,
went to
yeah.
middle school with the dolphin. All right.
That's not science.
Why were they doing it?
To try and teach dolphins English.
Okay, never mind. In another context, maybe, but not in this one.
So, long story sad, they run out of money to fund this experiment, this fucking silly-ass experiment. So they part ways, and the lady talks about how she finds herself missing the dolphin at times. But the fucking dolphin was so sad, they moved him to, a tank in Florida with other dolphins. He killed himself.
How'd do it?
I was going to ask you, do you know how dolphins kill themselves? They could just...
They drown themselves.
Yeah, they could just decide to not breathe.
Wow.
He just decided to not breathe and went to the bottom of the tank because he missed this lady. He was living the life. He had drugs.
That's fucked up.
He had sex. He was chilling. And then they took him away from that. Because humans not shit.
That's crazy. He just drowned himself. He was just like, not doing it. I don't got the... He didn't have the will to live.
He's like, that's my old lady.
He didn't have the will to live.
That's my old lady. And they took her away from me.
Or, what type of dolphin? And are those dolphins monogamous? I wonder.
Did you know... You probably didn't know this. Did you know killer whales are dolphins?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Do you know a killer whale and a dolphin mated? They have them out in Hawaii.
What the fuck do they look like?
They look like... what are they called? Dolphins.
This is what they look like. Yeah,
Wolfins.
throw it up there.
They're called
Wait,
wolfins.
hold on. You gotta Google this shit for me real quick.
Break. So,
I mean, if you look at a killer whale, they're fucking...
No, and that's what, I heard that on another podcast, and the other podcast host was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean? Killer whales look exactly like dolphins.
Yeah. They look pretty much, if you really think about it.
So
every other whale looks kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
True. Yeah, they don't look like killer whales.
They don't, you
grow
grow
up...
up...
even whales.
You grow up kind of thinking of whales kind of like a big... dolphin in a lot of cases. I mean, honestly, beyond a humpback, the big fuckers. But
well, because even beluga whales are dolphins.
Yeah, which is so weird that they're whales because I mean,
they're
they're not even that big,
whale.
Yeah, they're just like I'm a whale too, guys.
I was gonna go.
Look at me go.
It's like, get out of here with your weird hump and your white skin. Are they white?
They can be.
Okay.
I'm not positive they can be another color, but I know they can be white.
I didn't know if I just made up belugas being white. I was like, I'm gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
All right. So since we're talking about, I have no segue for this.
What's the segue? Okay.
But
so they should. Yeah.
This is
I was
live.
trying
Keep
to
this in.
segue. Yeah.
We don't have a segue for this, but a guy filmed him and his two buddies breaking out of an Orange County jail. I know you could have, but I wanted to just keep it moving.
Orange County jail, 3 guys, broke out. One filmed it on an iPhone or some shit.
It's crazy.
I don't know how they kept the phone charged, but
it's because they
did it over time.
Are there outlets in jail cells? No, right?
Fucking, they can't be, right? You chalk yourself.
Man, I'm fed up with this shit. Pass me the fork, yo. This shit plastic. Anyway, this guy and his 2 friends planned a jailbreak, and it wasn't like they just tied some nooses to the bars outside and climbed. Nah, they sawed through the wall, sawed through some pipes, they went through some tunnels, they went up some tunnels, and then they tied their bed sheets together and rappelled down a 5-story building.
That is excessive as shit.
Had some dude meet them down at the fucking bottom and drive them off, and then... I mean, I'm going to go into and then, because it's crazy and then, but what do you feel like?
What do you mean? What do I feel like?
You're about to say something. I want you to say something.
Oh. I was playing this game, and this, it's called Way Out, and there are 2 sides to it, and it's always 2-player, always, right? And it's pretty cool, but that what they did sounds so classic. You know, it sounds like the most classic break out of jail bullshit.
I'll say it later.
You know, and it's like they're doing it the same thing in my fucking game, and I'm like, this is just like,
you know, planning to go to jail. He said I'm gonna break out. I know already how. That's like the game they used to have where you could pick the certain things to break out with, and it would take you to another scene, which would take you to another scene, and then you like that, or I don't know. It was on like mostfungames.com. Sponsor me, broken website. So.
What do I do with my arms? Have you seen that movie? Fucking Ricky Bobby.
No, I
Talladega
have
Nights.
this thing where I'm on and off Will Ferrell depending on which movie. Talladega Nights is one of them.
That's great. He's
Step
like,
Brothers.
He's in front of the thing, and he's just there doing an interview, right? And then he's just like, yeah, and it was a good race, and it's like what are you doing with your hands? And he's just like, I don't know what to do with my hand. He's like, well, put him down. And he's like, okay, well, so yeah, the race was really good, but and he just keeps bringing him back up.
See, I was gonna say, I find certain Will Ferrell movies funny and certain not. Like, I love Step Brothers.
I mean, it's a different kind of humor, that's for sure.
Like,
it's just so over the top sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. So, they call a taxi, tell us, yo, take us somewhere. These guys that just broke out of prison.
Okay, cool.
And they get in the taxi and they're drinking. They pick up beer, so they're drinking, and now they're like, "Yo, this is no longer a taxi ride. You are now kidnapped, and you have to take us to this motel." Which I think what happened at a certain point, the taxi dude was like, "So, y'all gonna pay me?" Or like, and they're like, well, "Get this nigga." So they drive to a motel, and the taxi dude remembers like hearing them be like, "We gotta kill this nigga." And one of the dudes was like, nah, like, I like this dude. Like, the guy was from a Latin American country, and one of the prisoners was from the same country, and they had bonded. So he was like, nah, don't kill that guy. So the taxi driver remembers being tied up, thinking he was going to be thrown off a pier, and then the dude who was from the same country as him took him in the taxi, drove away with him, and then he turned himself in at the prison.
Yeah.
So the other two guys just chilling.
Really? He just went right back?
Yeah. I don't know why, but the article said he just went back. He said, fuck it. I'm
not
about that life. I'm not really about that life.
I wonder if that did any good for him.
Hopefully it did. I mean, he saved a nigga life.
Yeah. For real.
So the other two dudes, I guess, are trying to get some Kit Kats from the store, so they stop at the grocery store. Mm. At this point, there's like a money reward for these dudes. So a homeless guy sees the van that they're supposed to be driving around in, calls the cops. Cops come, arrest the one dude, and arrest the second dude sitting in the van. Yeah, you want the lighter.
Wait, what van?
And they were driving around in the van they stole.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't hear about the van before.
I know, I didn't say van. It came out of nowhere.
Continuity, brother. You gotta get it right. No, I'm kidding.
So yeah, so the homeless dude got like $100,000 reward, and the other two dudes got brought back to prison. But there were like no tools found.
$100,000.
Yeah.
For the homeless guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope it is spent.
I don't care what he do with this lit.
That's.
And I say this a lot too. Like, if you give someone money like that, they can't start a life. I guess if you give someone $100,000, you definitely can get an apartment, pay off some bills, maybe.
But you gotta know how to live light.
Yeah.
You can't go overboard with it. You've gotta be like, no, I've learned from being homeless, you know, like, or some shit like that. You've gotta be mellow with it.
I couldn't do it, but yeah.
You won the lottery, but don't spend it like it. You know?
Every single person that wins the lottery loses at life.
It's a shame.
For so many reasons. That'll be another podcast, though.
You know, they buy big and then they don't realize because they've never had to deal with it. Like, just think about the taxes on anything. On a high scale.
On a smaller scale, quotes, when you hear about shows like Bar Rescue and not Home Improvement, that's the wrong show. And whatever the show is where they come and the Ryan Seacrest type builds up the houses.
Property Brothers?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Double the twins?
Where they're like, move that bus.
No.
They had Sears backing them and shit.
Is that Home Improvement?
I said Home Improvement, but that's the Tim Allen show.
Yeah. Did
you know Tim Allen got arrested in an airport with cocaine? That's just a random fact I wanted to make sure you guys knew.
When?
Like in the 90s.
Okay. I did not know that, but...
Everyone should know that fact.
No, they shouldn't. That's all right. Who gives a fuck? Happened in the 90s. You know, he was a fucking movie star. You know,
everybody would do it. Cocaine.
Yeah, what the fuck ever? You know, let him go.
But whatever.
There's a time and a place.
Whatever the show
happens.
Is, though,
era-wise.
Yeah, everybody would do cocaine. But whatever the time and whatever the show was, it's like when they go and they improve these houses or bars and then they leave, they have this bigger thing that they have to pay more taxes on.
Same gig.
Or like with
Same
bars,
gig.
now they have a menu they have to implement with food they have to buy that's more expensive, and it's like, how am I supposed to keep up?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
like
why
I wonder if they make it priced like they can't, probably, because they're trying to go for like the best thing available.
Even like
because that upkeep needs to stay. But then again, think about the
even when Gordon Ramsay comes into a place and he's like moving shit around and adding shit, and you're like, yo, I can't afford the I know I'm being cheap, but the cost for these like lights I have to bring in are like 20 times the price of the regular bulbs I was buying.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't know, I guess you do count that too in the cost of
well, but like
business.
Here's the thing too, you've got such a crazy advertisement. If your shit goes right, you have an incredible advertisement right there. Everybody is like, I don't know. There are a lot of people who watch that shit, and then that is just like, yeah, exactly. You know, and like they're gonna be like, oh, it's that place. If I'm in that area, I'm going there. You know, it's like I'll see how it is. So it's gonna bring people in general. If it's good food, it's gonna keep people there. You know, because it's also like gourmet set up. You know it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
And
but sometimes they go back to their old ways because they have to.
Yeah.
Which is crazy too.
I restarted watching that shit. Do you know the one with the meathead Italian guy?
Yeah, the very first one.
Is that the first one? The straight first one? Oh yeah, that was great.
That dude,
that
literally,
was
he got
so
kicked out of the
classic.
mafia. He was in the mafia loosely, and they were like, "Nigga, you went on TV." that was you had a nigga outside your fucking store asking you for money.
Yeah.
And then that allegedly you might have set that up. You're on TV. Why are you doing this?
It was so bad.
But anyway, speaking of TV, I want to talk about how TV is kind of coming back. And one, I want to talk about Netflix and their downfall.
Oh, yes.
But two, the fact that Netflix is falling and now it's not the place to go for the best shows. You can go to Hulu, you can go to HBO, you can go to Stars. It's now becoming like all these streaming services I don't have because my Fire Stick is jailbroken, but all these streaming services that people have, it feels like TV. It's like a cable program. Or if you want to watch live sports, Hulu has live sports.
True.
Hulu has live. I've seen that commercial so many times with Joel Embiid, where he's like,
"That is,
why are you saying this?" And he's like, "Cash."
I watch a couple of things on Hulu like as they come out each week, you know, and I kind of actually like that over like binging was.
Or not even each week. Like literally, I like having new episodes of Family Guy, and those drop the next day. Like it will drop the next day for TV shows. So it's cool like that. And I still go to Netflix for comedy because Netflix is the king of stand-up across streaming.
They've got a services. They've got a lot.
They're the king of stand-up.
They have a lot.
If you enjoy stand-up, you need Netflix.
I mean, but that's the thing. Everybody has something different going on.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, I like a good... Well...
But it seems like right now, that's the only thing Netflix is really on top of. Everything else. Like, their original content started to go down, which makes sense because when you're starting to build original content, everything needs to be the shit. And, like, with TV shows, they have, like, 20, 30 episodes per season. Netflix doesn't need that, so they can only have 6 episodes per season. It's low-key why I think my problem with Stranger Things Season 2 felt like it just felt bloated a little bit. Like, that episode where the 11 went to Chicago or whatever, that didn't need to be an episode. It just feels like... Especially, like, the Netflix shows, like the Marvel Netflix shows, like Daredevil and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage... gone. And it point to those, it all felt like this doesn't need to be 13 episodes.
Mm.
You already broke away from the 20, 30 episode like status quo. But now you don't need to stick to your status quo of like, oh, well, they all have to have like 10 plus episodes. They don't. There were parts of Luke Cage where it was like, you could have stopped. You could have cut this out.
Yeah.
This was bloated. They were all of Iron Fist. Whereas like you could have just not did Iron Fist.
Well, I mean, it's also because of binge culture.
Yeah.
You know, when that comes out, it's like people want a lot to watch. If it's only 6 episodes, they're like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
You know? So like, oh, it was 10 episodes, all right.
Yeah. But, I don't know. And that all encompasses...
And that's fair. They kind of got to get rid of quality...
over they're just putting shit out.
Quantity,
everything
like
gets greenlit.
You know,
Meanwhile, the good shit like BoJack and Stranger Things takes so long between seasons. I want to cry. Ew. Don't give a fuck about your personal space.
Hi, sassy.
So
how's it going?
I don't know. I think that's leading to the death of Netflix. It's just filled with either bullshit or nothing. Or it does have the low key bumpers that I've seen, and it's like that was a hit. I'll watch again. Like, The Mummy was on there. I was like, I watched The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Brendan Fraser,
I was
R.I.P. my
checking
nigga.
some shit. He just kind of came back.
I know,
He's,
my nigga.
R.I.P.? What you mean?
No, not R.I.P., but it was like Brendan Fraser, low-key.
He was gone. No, he's gone for like 15, 20 years.
Not even gone, but I think he went through a divorce, and he got a little bigger.
He got, like, he did, like, most of his own stunts in the Mummy movies, and he got fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, he got fucked up. Yeah,
but now he's Brendan Fraser. He's coming back.
He's back. Yeah, dude, I love that guy.
Get him on Netflix.
He was saying in the thing. I was watching how like he'll talk to millennials and they'll be like, "Yeah, I love you," and like George of the Jungle. I was like 4.
Oh shit, George of the
Jungle! I was just like, George of the Jungle was the shit, man. You're right. I love that.
All right, yeah. So
fuck.
And while Netflix is slowly dying, all right. Disney did some shady shit. I won't even say shady, because it low-key was smart. But do you know how Disney owns Marvel, basically, and all that? So Disney let Netflix have their characters on a lease. The same way Sony has let the MCU use Spider-Man. Disney was like, you can use these characters, but they're still ours. And then Netflix canceled all of those shows.
What?
Netflix
Really?
Canceled all... This happened like a bit ago. Canceled all those shows, and now Disney
canceled, removed, or canceled ended?
No, they're still there, and
wow,
all the MCU movies on Netflix are still on Netflix, but yeah, they just said we're not making these anymore. And now Disney has announced that they're starting a streaming service for $6.99.
Wow.
So once that streaming service goes up, I think all the Disney movies you see on Netflix are gone, including Marvel movies. So, binge watch your Defenders while you can.
Get to it.
It's crazy. $6.99. Netflix just upped their prices to like $14.
Yeah, it's kind of.
They put out a Beyonce documentary, and she was like, "I want this much money." And
I've watched a lot of good stuff on Netflix, but you know,
money, Beyonce.
I'm watching Hulu a lot more these days.
I'm watching YouTube a lot more these days. Like YouTube.
YouTube's always
Hulu,
been the king of
Netflix.
streaming, honestly. You know, of anything.
Got sports on YouTube when you want it. It's lit. So, speaking of dying, but Germans, Nazis dying.
What kind of fucking segue was that? We still don't got segues up in here.
I want to talk about
Yeah.
this World War II pilot and what he did to this Nazi.
Get back to it
But
first.
I'm gonna light this blunt first.
Yeah. Hit the blunt.
I'm about to hit the blunt.
Oh shit, you right?
So really, I can't. Oh, about to cough. I don't have words to describe this video, so I'm gonna just hit play and let you decide.
Brutal realities for Richard Peterson.
Normally, nobody, including the Germans, would be shoot anybody in a parachute. It just wasn't done. I mean, there's no challenge with shooting a guy in a parachute, for God's sake. He is, he's had it. You can't miss. And here I came across this 109, and the sky was full of bomber chutes. Flak had gotten them, and it was target area. And this bitch was going from parachute to parachute, shooting up guys in parachutes. Oh, I got this was too much as far as I was concerned, and I didn't want to blow him up. I wanted him to bail. So I was pecking away at him, just hit him, and I'd get strikes on him. And he knew I was there, and he knew I was getting strikes. He finally pulled the canopy. I said, "You've met your maker, Buster."
He means that literally.
And I fired. I damn near emptied my guns on this guy. He was mincemeat by the time I got through with him, and he was in a shoot. And of course, other guys who weren't there were nervous about me shooting a guy to shoot. But they had to be there to know what I was seeing with this guy going. These guys are helpless of a bomber cruise going down. And I just tore
He
him up
emptied the clip on him, yo.
with 800 rounds.
Quite
a minute.
literally.
You can do a lot of damage
800
with 50
rounds,
caliber
did he
shells from 6 guns. So that was the end of that.
That was the end of that.
Bro.
That was fucking savage. You know, I'm with him. Oh, man.
He
That's-
emptied the clip on the nigga. Said, you just gonna... No. Like, literally, when people say you're gonna meet your maker, they don't mean it like he meant that. He said that nigga to God. That nigga was mad cow diseased.
I was hoping he was gonna, like, I don't know, shoot out the parachute a teensy bit. And
This is make him like cry and
make him
shit.
fly down, you know, and then as he's almost to the ground, like, oh, I'm okay. You know, just then do it.
I feel like that's
You
a
know?
harder target.
A little more savage. Yeah, true.
Can't
But
turn a nigga into mincemeat if you can't even catch him.
that's fair. Just give him some of his own medicine. Holy shit, he just, like, followed him, tagged him. That
It's crazy.
that shit kind of reminds me of, so I don't know how true this story is, but I've been told it my whole life. My dad has never saw my grandfather's chest because it was like shot the fuck up from a machine gun, right? Like in a nest in like Korea, and he was running up there after one of his like friends got killed or whatever. He was like trying to get up in there and he got hit like twice or whatever, but he climbed through the hole, grabbed the guy off the thing, started beating the shit out of him like on the back, like while he's got these two fucking Johns in his thing, and he said shrapnel, right? And apparently, this is the fucking story. This is the story. I don't, once again,
All right.
candy bar falls out of the guy's pocket that he's beating the shit out of up against this back wall, right?
This nigga don't pick up.
Like,
the
and he's
candy
like
bar
fucked up.
again.
Yeah, no, he picks up the candy bar. My grandfather picks up the candy bar. My fucking namesake. Thank you.
Is that nigga? That's me, basically.
Yeah, right. Like my name's on a gravestone. Woo.
That's morbid.
Yeah, right. It's weird. There's gonna be another one before I die too.
Nigga said, "Death can't get me." Oh, you got the wrong EP, sir.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he bends
Nigga,
over.
you made an EP called EP.
An EP. But he leans over, picks up the candy bar, unwraps it, starts taking it, and then just goes right back to it. You know, it's just because that guy just was like on the machine gun, just killing people, and it lit him up. You know,
Yeah, he said, "Fuck you," and I'm gonna eat
it
your
was
candy.
me choking, not me getting choked up. There is a difference, but you know, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's when it's like it's niggas you fighting too. Like the fucked up part about that story was that the dude was shooting at people that are like trying to parachute away. That's the ultimate
It's
version
like-
of defenseless.
It's kind of even like a medic. A medic has a duty, you know, and he's trying to do his duty. You don't shoot the fucking medic.
It's like you don't shoot the person
know?
that's not shooting at you.
It's like he is just trying to help the people who are too injured to go back to fighting, you know.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
You a little bitch boy, and he was probably in his pilot.
That's
Like,
not how it works anymore.
why wouldn't you just go down with your plane? He literally was like, I was just doing the same shit to these niggas. I wonder if that's gonna happen to me. Let me just jump out.
Yeah. It's fucked up. I mean, he's probably willing to die for his cause. And like the fucked up
but
thing
fuck
is,
that
like,
nigga though. Let's not talk about him. Fuck that nigga.
he probably would have. That's fucked. I don't know.
Nah, I got you.
It was a waste.
Well, R.I.P. Those niggas got avenged.
Yeah, right.
So I was on the Instagram the other
I
day.
bet he got avenged like fucking 800. He said 800.
Dude, he said something 100, but he was literally like just shooting in the air at one point. Was just like Dude was on the ground like, oh, dude,
Like,
I'm dead.
You
Like,
know,
what you
honestly,
want?
I'm thinking about this shit, and if he was just like easy target, and it's just like this dude just getting like torn in half, you know, and it's also a morbid thought, but oh man, he's like literally just cut in half, right?
Yeah, dude,
Like,
literally.
oh god.
And it's funny too because like, I don't even know. I'm high. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Everybody who was parachuting saw that, and they're like, "Yeah,
Let's get
you
it.
know, it's like just fucked him up."
So, like I was saying, I was on the gram, and there's this Viner / YouTuber / influencer, if you want to call them that, called the Gabbie Show.
Yeah.
I follow her
Never
because
seen that shit.
she kind of used to be funny.
Wait, is that her name? Is
Her
that-
name's Gabbie Hannah.
But there is a Gabbie Show.
Or Gabrielle Hannah. And she changed it, and she made a point of to change it to not being the Gabbie Show. That was just the most popular hip phrase I could say and be like, maybe you know who this is. But so she posted some pictures and she was talking about how she was going to Coachella. And not that she was vocal against going to Coachella, but she didn't seem like she even wanted to go. So by her saying she's going to Coachella, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Coachella.
And then she posted pictures at Coachella. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, as cool as a person being at Coachella could be. But yeah, and then I went back a couple of days, and I was looking at these pictures. And here. So read that top one. Because what I saw was under the edit, but read her edit.
Oops, I faked it all. Go check out the video on how I pretended to go to Coachella up now. That's fucked up.
Yeah, and I was
Well,
like, I don't watch her YouTube
shit.
videos, but I thought that was pretty cool because it was like supposed to be like listen, this shit is not real life. This shit is
Did
not
you
even
read the thing?
What's up?
Or did you watch the video?
I watched the video, you know, as her videos just aren't for me. I'm clearly not her audience, and that's okay. But the concept behind it was cool, and that's what I dug. It's not. I didn't even not like the video. It's not for me, right? I'm not a part of that audience. So.
Yeah.
It's not like it's TJ shit, and it's just overtly bad.
TJ
Hey,
shit. Plug
you
it right
sucked
here.
it.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't answer. Dude, no, I don't want him to see it. He probably follows. Don't do this. Don't do this to me.
It's only my views. It's not his. I swear to God, it's not his. But away from TJ, I think the concept is cool. It's like the shit is fake. Look how easily I can fake this shit, and those were kind of seamless. She had like a whole production crew go around with her, and that's seamless. So I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that. I also wanted to talk about Coachella because hella niggas came back from Coachella with herpes. like 11,000, maybe it was 1,100, and I read it wrong because I'm dumb. But a lot of niggas went to Coachella without herpes and came back with herpes.
Okay. Play gank, man.
Real life. That's cosplay for real.
Festival of Love.
What?
That's what it is. That's what the update is. And
Festival
Play
of
Gank. I was
Love.
playing recently, and it always happens. It's like Festival of Love was a success. So you infected everybody. And I was like, oh no.
I know, and people taking hella drugs. So drugs definitely equals sex. But nobody was fucking with condoms? Nobody?
That's
Nobody? Obviously some people, because not
Yeah,
everyone
some
came back with herpes.
Mhm.
But not everybody fucking too.
I mean, just think about the spread of that. You to you to you to you to you to you.
It's
I
like
mean,
3 days. And
everybody
it's
who
hot as
didn't
hell
just
all
wasn't
3
part of that
days.
population, maybe, or maybe they were, but they
Imagine
were
coming
in
back
that
from
spot,
Coachella,
like,
and you niggas like, yo,
I
I
wonder-
got herpes.
I wonder
And
if
you
they checked
"Good
all-
thing I didn't fuck.
check all the campsites or whatever, and just be like, oh shit,
Hey, you got a condom in there?
No, not even like that.
you better
check
put on a
no,
condom.
you-
nigga.
You check where their you check where everybody's campsite was, and you see that it's all just a big circle, and everybody in like a half-mile radius.
It's like, that's ground zero.
Yeah, it's just like whoops.
That's where.
And they're just
these
little
niggas can't come back.
stragglers from everywhere else. That'd be crazy.
That's a new wristband to get in the fucking Coachella.
If
Hey,
they're
you got herpes?
campsites.
All right, you got the second time discount. We know you was here.
Why do you want to sit on me?
Because she likes invading your personal space.
Poochie poochie.
All right, so next on the docket, we watched some trailers last week with Ben, so I want to show you some trailers.
What are we watching?
We're going to watch, the first trailer is Sonic. I saw this,
Sonic.
and I was like, oh, I don't know how to feel. You'll see why.
Did it not play?
There we go. Looks so weird.
Gotta go fast.
Minutes ago, an energy surge knocked out power across the entire Pacific Northwest. This needs someone who can figure out exactly what we're dealing with.
You're not suggesting who I think you're suggesting.
We have no choice.
What the?
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am.
Nope!
My
Wrong. I'm in charge.
Allow me to clarify. In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify. Agent Stone?
The doctor thinks you're basic.
Listen, pal, I don't know if you realize
I'm sorry, Major. What was your name?
Benny.
Nobody cares! SFPD!
Meow?
Why is it got teeth?
Come on. Okay, pal, I want answers. Basically, it looks like I'm gonna have to
This
save
is a
your
great
friend.
idea. Just have a crank gun.
They just shoot him. I'm glad he did shoot him. A lot of niggas are like, what?
Yeah, right? Like,
Oh, is that all you got?
No, but thank you for asking.
Uh-oh.
Whatever this creature is, our job is to secure it, neutralize it, see what makes it tick.
Look at this! I took 9 million steps today.
kind of
Stay in
ridiculous.
there and be quiet.
How much longer? I can't breathe in here.
Do you have your child in that bag?
Eh?
No. I mean, yes, it's a child, but it's not mine. It's not your child.
Smells like body spray in an old ham sandwich.
I'd see that. I don't know how to feel though, because
I
I don't like his design really.
I don't know. That just it seems real goofy.
So yeah, there's that one. And I also want to show you Child's Play for the same reasons. You know the little Chucky movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a new one.
yeah, they're coming out with a new one.
Press, remember? You said you were gonna try to make new friends.
Buddy can connect to and control all of your Caslin products and smart home devices. Introducing your new best friend.
Is this it?
I didn't see it, by the way.
It was cool.
Yeah, I heard it was cool. I just didn't see it.
And I need you to believe me. I think Chucky did something.
What? Like, is that James Harden?
You better tell me.
Never mind.
Something's wrong with Chucky.
Buddy can connect to and control all of your Caslin.
Chucky is a toy.
Yeah,
Could be anywhere.
that's what's her name. Aubrey Plaza.
We have to stop him.
Sorry.
This got real.
I don't like his design also. Alright, so I
Yo,
don't-
I'm lit.
yeah.
But go on.
I don't know if you know Chucky's whole backstory. I saw Chucky at a young age. That shit always terrified me. But he was like,
I think I had to have.
he was like
Because like I always knew about it and I was always freaked out about it, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, I think dolls were always creepy for everybody.
yeah. I think as you
Yeah,
got older
don't,
though,
like-
you could just be like, I'm gonna just punt this nigga.
I wonder if dolls were just cool before then, you know? Like, I mean, I know there was a point where dolls were just cool. But, like, I think dolls have always been kind of creepy, you know?
It depends what you are. Action
No, but like
figures
think at
dolls,
night.
though, 'cause
Well,
then,
yeah.
like- 'cause
Well,
then, like,
what do you mean? Are action figures? I mean, that could even be creepy. You know, it depends.
I don't know. I feel like,
Think of it just standing there at night, just like just looking up at you, and you're just like,
well, if you're a little girl and
No, I
you
gotta
got,
put you down.
if you're a little child and you have dolls, you just used to dolls. So the eyes staring at you, that's like, oh, that's my dolls.
Yeah.
But if you don't grow up with dolls, you're like, what the fuck is staring at me? Like I slept at my grandma's house and she had these little creepy dolls that would, and that's like, I didn't grow up with dolls, so I was like, that's creepy as shit. 'Cause it was, because they're staring at you, looking into your
Yeah.
soul. But
yeah.
Chucky's fucking whole backstory was like he was a serial killer. and then he's about to die, use some voodoo magic to get put into a doll's body, and then he just wanted to keep killing niggas. I feel like this is about to be is a doll AI that went rogue, like Skynet.
Yeah. That's fair.
I feel like iffy about it. That's my point. I'm feeling iffy about it. But
like, oh, you what is it? Did you see that they're making a live action Lion King?
I saw that. That looks alright, but then I don't
like live action.
Yeah, no, I saw. It's funny as shit because I saw it was live action.
And it's just called Tarzan, and that's my big. Not Tarzan. What the fuck am I
Lion
saying?
King.
It's just,
Tarzan is a cool movie. Real quick,
yeah.
Tarzan is like the shortest movie I've watched in a while. It's like an hour and a half, and it is all pace. You can't fuck up the pace of an hour and a half movie, but it is greatly paced. There's like a song. Phil Collins put his heart out into that fucking a soundtrack, my nigga. Oh my god, every song bumps in that movie. And there's a song or an action scene every 15 minutes. Yeah, that is the most beautifully paced movie I've ever seen. And I don't know how he got to Tarzan. But
and then they made that like live action, which I didn't see it.
I think they fucked that up too. I think I saw bits and pieces of it. But so yeah, what Disney movie did you get from Tarzan? What?
We were talking about Lion King.
Lion King, yeah.
And it's like
it still looks cool, but it's
just
not
called
action.
Lion King though. You know, and
that's
what bothers me.
It's literally just a rendition.
Well, but like think about
making a different story.
Think about the next generations or whatever. You know, so is nobody watching the original anymore?
Those movies aren't made for them.
I know that. I know that.
It's like
just
Endgame.
Crazy.
People got mad. They're going into Endgame. They're like, "Yo, what happened in chapter 22, nigga? You gotta read chapter 1 first. What the fuck? Like, come on, that we're not putting out the live action Lion King for kids. I mean, we're putting it out for kids so they can see what we watched, but the majority of tickets are coming from us, like the niggas that watch that, and be like, that was our shit. I feel like cause that's how that's how we treated Incredibles too. I feel like.
I mean, it's just
that
been
was
like
our shit. That wasn't.
When did Lion King even come out?
Like 1993.
Something. I don't know. But it's just always been there. Yeah. You know, and now it's like, what, 24 years later?
And I mean, they are still making new stuff. 6? It's just like, this isn't for them, this is for us. We can make they're still making new stuff.
Well, but they gotta keep up, you know, with other shit.
Yeah, and I feel like people are asking for it. And then someone was like, yo, how those animals are so well trained, and I was like, nigga, what? They did not. Those animals are not trained, nigga. That's all computer generated. So, before we sign off, I got a question. What are you reading right now? What's the last book that you enjoyed that you read?
That I enjoyed that I read.
Should you be reading shit and then you're like, I don't like this, and you just stop?
No, it's just back and forth. I'm currently reading Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac, but it's on and off.
I feel that.
I'm working on other shit more than I'm reading.
I feel that. What are you working on right now? You got anything you try and plug?
Not entirely.
You want to talk about the parameters or something?
The parameters of what?
Like,
no.
What are you working on right now?
No. I ain't got nothing.
You lying?
No, that's an absolute truth. Not even in front of the video.
All right, tell me something you worked on in the past. Here, hit this, and then.
I'm just doing school, man. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doing school.
You lied. All right, well, tell me something you did for school. This became a NBC interview.
Fucking shit.
You ain't gotta tell me shit.
No, I'm just not trying to think. What did I do for school? Because I wrote all these banging essays, but I wrote them in such a short amount of time, I forgot them.
That's why cramming doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't work for learning. It works for grades, though.
That's the fucked up part, though. All right. So before we sign off, there's nothing you want to plug, anything you want to say before we sign off.
Okay, so there's this thing that my uncle used to say, or he said it once when my dad was around, and he was questioning like, what if Jesus is behind the door? You know, like, what if God is behind the door or whatever? You know, and like the door's open, but he's hiding behind the door, right? So like, imagine and I'm not religious or anything, but it's just a silly thought to think about, like, what if he's behind anything and you can't see him, or there's something behind everything. You know, like, and every time you go around, it goes around with it, and you can never actually see it. It's always just like, yep. You know, there's just that blind spot that you can never confirm, and you can only confirm because somebody else can confirm. But can you trust that it's not just different for them?
That's
you know,
faith.
like, and I'm not even talking about like Jesus behind the door, but I'm talking about like the concept behind not being able to know what is behind the door.
True, the unknown. The unknown.
Yeah.
Unknown.
I mean, it's just so silly because he was lit when he said that.
He was like, you want to hear something? All right, yeah. So, as always, I've been Cliff. This has been
Eddy.
I don't know how people come out here use aliases and all types of shit.
Jerry.
But
hi, I'm Jerry. Just adds like take the sound clip from right there. Jerry. Yeah.
What's that episode of Rick and Morty where it was all the Jerrys and shit, and they were fucking with the TV, and they're like, you get to mess with the audio factory tint setting, and they're like, oh, the tint setting is always too low. Oh no, but I thought of that the other night.
The what?
The factory tint setting is always too low. If I can find it, I'll put it up here, but it's from Rick and Morty.
How so?
Jerry!
Oh, come on. This is ridiculous.
I love you, Jerry!
So what about this?
Who wants to come watch Midnight Run with director's commentary on?
Yeah, definitely.
First one there gets to adjust the picture settings.
The factory tint setting is always too high. The factory tint setting is always too high.
The factory tint.
Yeah, I was watching Game of Thrones, and I was like, this shit's so dark. The factory tint settings are always too high. Yo, actually, real quick, I do want to say that the people were upset about that, and they were talking to the dude who, I don't know what it's called, whoever shoots the shots. And his response were, I wanted you to see exactly what you saw. I was like, what kind of cocky shit? What? Because don't get me wrong, there were shots illuminated by the dragon fire, but there were also shots that were entirely too dark. And now the also problem is that's not their fault. HBO compresses the videos weird when they put them on HBO Go and HBO Now, so it's kind of HBO's fault. But that's just a smug answer to say.
Yeah.
Like, what? Fuck you.
Well, it's like, that's how I shot it, you know? I made that decision.
It's like, what do you want me to do with that information? Fix my shit. That's like, I can't even say it, but thanks for listening, guys. This has been Higher Education's podcast.
Farewell.